Hi, this is Orlando dos Santos, Secondary Principal of Austin Cove Baptist College. We all live very busy lives, and our students are no different. There are so many pressures that they have, and time pressures particularly. They sleep, they come to school, they have sporting activities, they have social activities, and they have homework or study at home. Now, we understand that everyone has the same amount of time. We all have 86,400 seconds every day. Even the busiest person only has 7 days every week and has 12 months in every year. So no one is any different. It's just a matter of how we manage that time. Because of the pressures that our students are under, there are stress points and there are times that our students are struggling. So I've designed an organizational tool called the Student Organization and Application Plan, SOAP. Now, there are lots of benefits of SOAP, but organization in a student's life is one of them. So the Student Organization and Application Plan. As a parent, I would encourage you to go through this video with your student, with your child, and so that you understand it and the child understands it, so that we can fit all those activities into their daily program. Now, we understand that our students have a life outside school. We also understand that sporting and social activities is a major part of that. So in this plan, what we do is we identify first what their sporting and social activities are outside school. We make sure that we identify those and we put those aside, and then we look at the time that the students have left, and with that time that they have left, we fit in our homework activities. If their time is used effectively and well, we will find that the students' stress levels will go down and also that their marks will go up. For example, we have an acrostic that we use, an acronym, WIN. Work hard, infuse urgency, never give up. Now, when do most students do their assignments? That's right, the day before. Why? Because that's when it's urgent. Now, what happens with a student is that they know that they have an assignment in 2 weeks' time. And so for 2 weeks, they're totally stressed out. They're thinking, I've got this English assignment due. I've got this English assignment due. They can't enjoy their sporting activities, their social activities, or anything else because they've got this English assignment due in 2 weeks. So there's a lot of stress there for a couple of weeks, but because it's left till the last minute, because it is urgent, their marks also go down because they obviously don't do a very good job. With this plan, we will show you how to set a due date, how to set due dates, and how to actually break up an assignment so that it is presented to the teacher early. The teacher has a look at the assignment, gives a little bit of feedback, and obviously you know what's going to happen. The marks are going to go up, the stress levels are going to go down. That's got to be a good thing. Now come on a journey with me as we work through on this diary system, the Student Organization and Application Plan. I'm going to treat this as a workshop and just work through as if there was an imaginary student who was involved in sporting activities maybe twice a week, maybe on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So the first thing we're going to do is have a look at the diary. Now, I've chosen week 2 of term 3. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask the student to tell us about their life outside school and their sporting activities, social activities, and so forth. So with that, we know that this student has sporting activities on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so we cross that out. After speaking to the student, we also know that that student doesn't really like to work very much on a Friday after school, so we're going to cross that out. Looking at those 3 days, I will then ask the student how many minutes of homework can they actually do on the Tuesday and the Thursday. Now, maybe on Thursday they can't do anything at all, so we put a 0 there in brackets. But on a Tuesday they can actually do probably 30 minutes, so we're going to do that. Now, on Monday they're fairly refreshed, and so they're happy to do 90 minutes of homework on a Monday. So we're going to put 90 in there. On Wednesday, they might tell me that they can only do 60. Not very much on Thursday, not very much on Friday. So now we're going to try and go for Saturday and Sunday. And perhaps 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to put it in Saturday, but they can do 45 minutes on one day and the rest on the next, or they can do it all in one go. It's entirely up to them. Now, looking at this, we have 120, 180, and another 120, so that's 300 minutes. Now for Year 8 students, that's exactly what they've got to do, 300 minutes. And if they do that, that's all they have to do. Now we've told our teachers that they can only give home learning or homework once a week. Now for example, maths might be due on a Friday. It's given on a Friday and then it's due on a Friday. So this is what the student has to write. Maths, home learning, due. So it's those two things that they have to write in. I'm going to underline it and put a number, but we don't need to do that in future. Now we have to decide when to do the maths homework. The only rule that we give our students is you cannot do it the night before. And the reason for that is because if they get stuck on that homework the night before, they will end up coming to school without doing the maths homework. They'll be stressed and they'll probably have to go to homework class, which is like detention at lunchtime, and no one likes homework class. So we know we can't do it on the Thursday, so let's see, maybe on the Wednesday or maybe on the Tuesday. Now the maths homework will probably take about 30 minutes, so I'm just going to put in something in there and I'm going to say Wednesday. So here we write 4 things: do, maths, home learning, how long it's going to take, and a box at the end so we can tick it off. We all feel good when we tick off those boxes because it releases endorphins within us, which makes us feel good. So I'm going to write do, maths, home learning, normally takes about 30 minutes, and then a box. Okay, so those are the 4 things I have written. I'm going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, but normally a student wouldn't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we know that, like money, the student has 60 minutes on Wednesday. They've just used up 30 minutes. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing now with the maths, English, SOS, and science. We've already done the maths. We're going to do it with the other 3. And so let's imagine that the science is due on the Wednesdays. So we're going to put in there science, home learning, due on the Wednesday. On the Tuesday, English might be due. So we have English, home learning, due. And we've got science left, and with science, let's put that on a Tuesday as well. Busy day. So science, home learning, due. So there we have the 4 bits of homework for your child on any particular week. Maths, due on a Friday. We've got science, due on a Wednesday. And we've got English and SOS due on the Tuesday. Now we've got to find a time. We found a time for the maths. We've got to find a time for the other 3 subjects. So let's take English. Can we do English on Monday? It's the night before. In case we get stuck, there's no chance of asking our teacher. So we've got to choose another time. So let's go for Saturday. So we're going to do our English, do English, home learning. How long will that take? Maybe 40 minutes? And a box. Our SOS we can probably do on the Wednesday. This is something that each child will have to model and decide for themselves. But our SOS, do, SOS, home learning, might take 30 minutes. And a box. So there you go. You've got 1 box there, 1 box there, 1 box there, and 1 box is missing, which is the science. Now, can we do the science on Tuesday? Nope, because it's the night before. But we can do the science on Monday. So let's go for that one. Do, science, home learning, might take 30 minutes, and a box. So I've got the 4 things there. So I'm just going to recap very quickly. We have 4 bits of homework due. English, SOS, science, and maths. We have now found a time to actually do those bits of homework. There's a big difference between due and do. So for the English, we are going to do it on a Saturday. For the SOS, we are going to do it on a Wednesday. For the science, we are going to do it on the Monday, and the maths we will do on the Wednesday. So we've actually found 4 times in the week, 2 hours of homework done. If a student has done 15 minutes of homework, say in maths, and they're really struggling, they just don't know where to go, there's no point in them just sitting there for another hour because they just don't know how to do it. Just leave it. Sign off in it as a parent. The student can come to the class the next day, find out how to do it, go back home and finish it off. If you find that your student is struggling and has just been sitting there for an hour and the homework is far too much, then the best thing to do is to actually sign off on it as a parent, and then we know that the student has actually worked very hard on that but has just not completed it for time, or they struggled or whatever, and as a result of that we can give them some extra help. So it's a very, very simple system. There's 300 minutes. We've probably only used up a couple of hours there with these bits of homework, and we've got 4 boxes. At the end of each week we should have a tick, a tick, a tick, and a tick, which means that we've done all the homework for that week. Once we've put this in for 1 week, the 4 subjects that are due, and when we're actually going to do them, then we transfer it to the next week, and the next week, and the next week. So when a student comes along, they know that they will always do their maths homework on a Wednesday night. They know that they will always do their SOS homework on a Wednesday night as well. They know that they will always do their science homework on a Monday night. So it's a regular routine. Very easy. The only thing on top of the regular homework are the assignments. So let's imagine that today is the 28th of July, and I'm the English teacher, and I have just given the students an assignment which is due on the 14th of August. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to write in on the 14th of August, English, assignment, due. We're then going to go to the next page, and we're going to write the subject, English. What is it? It's an assignment. It was given on the 28th of July, and it's due on the 14th of August. Now, that is roughly about 16 or 17 days, so it's just over 2 weeks. So as a result of this, this is the most important part for assignments. If it's a 2-week assignment, we ask our students to bring in the assignment 2 days early. If it's a 3-week assignment, 3 days early. If it's a 4-week assignment, 4 weeks early. If it's a 4-week assignment, it's going to be much larger. And so when the teacher has a look at it 4 days before time, then the teacher can give the students some help, give them some advice. They can go home. They've got 4 days to polish it up. That has got to be able to take the marks up. That's got to be able to bring the stress levels down. The reason the stress levels will come down is because the students know what the teacher is expecting and has given them some help with that. So this is the most important point. We've got to bring it in 2 days early. So I might decide this is when I want to bring it in, on the Monday. So I put a big star, or highlight it, or put glitter around it, or whatever I have to do to remember to bring in the English assignment. Now this is just for a quick look, a quick flick, that the teacher will have a quick flick through the assignment and go, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Maybe you need to strengthen the conclusion, or maybe you need to strengthen the introduction. With those 4 subjects, the homework should only take about 30 minutes per subject, probably a little bit more for English, but it should only be in total about 2 hours for the whole week. The other 3 hours we can spend on learning journals and the assignments. Learning journals are vitally important, and that is the cornerstone of our learning here at Austin Cove Baptist College. We know that within a couple of days of a student hearing information, they will probably lose about 80% of that information. So I'm going to draw it in a graph which hopefully you can follow. In this graph here, a student learns about 100%. After 2 days, they have lost a lot of that information and they only retain about 20%. There's 100. Now, that sits on about 20% retention for several weeks until the exams happen, and then panic sets in because the students have to relearn everything to achieve a good mark. With the Learning Journal, what we do is we ask our students that within a day they go to their Learning Journal and they write down quick brief notes. It doesn't have to be long and flowery and whatever. It has to be very quick, just sharp notes. And if they do that within their first day or two, they will be able to hold and retain a lot of the information because they're putting it into a Learning Journal. From the Learning Journal, they then take it into a card system where on the card they write down keywords, they keep it with them, and basically that is constant recognition of the content that they have been learning, so that when it comes to exam time, they may lose a little, but they're retaining a lot because that Learning Journal is their trigger. It's the constant recognition in a very short form that they can go back, constantly revise, constantly recognize. So when it comes to the exam, it's a lot easier to revise and get better marks. So as a result of that, and I won't go through the Learning Journal right now, but as a result of that, I want to just say that the Learning Journal is vital for retention of content, so that when it comes to the times that they do exams and tests and so forth, the retention is there, and as a result, hopefully the marks will be a lot better, but certainly the stress levels will be better, hopefully, as well too. So I want to thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this video. Hopefully you will be able to follow this, and I do make an invitation to all our students and our parents at the secondary college that if you want me to go through this with you personally, I'm more than happy to do that. Thank you very much. Have a good day.